All right, what's going on YouTube, Facebook? What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to talk about something I think is very important if you're going to have insurance. So some people have employer insurance and others have a personal policy. Should you have both? Should you have one? What should you do? Now I'm going to give you an example here because I think this example is going to really pinpoint how important it is to have a personal policy, even if you have insurance with your employer. A lot of people think that they have enough insurance when it's given through their employer. And they're like, oh, I don't need it. I have insurance through my employer. But guess what? Your employer is not going to give you a whole lot of insurance. And on top of that, sometimes they don't even pay everything that they should pay if something were to happen to you. So we're going to talk about this, and I'm going to give you an example of some of the expenses and what the insurance is actually really for. So as you can see here, for an employer, let's just say that they have $50,000 in their life insurance policy. So if they were to die, this $50,000 would go to the beneficiary. I guess typically it's about 1 year's salary for the insurance policy that is given to the beneficiary through the employer. Now, in a personal policy, let's say you have $500,000 and you're paying $90 a month. Now, this is also determined by your age and health. Now, I'm giving you an example that's kind of close to what I'm paying for $500,000. So you can get $500,000 at $90 a month, approximately. Of course, this is an example. So this is what you can get with a personal policy. Now, this is for all the men out there. Let's just say you have $50,000 in your life insurance policy through your employer. Let's just say you die unexpectedly, an untimely death, something happens, you're in a car accident. $50,000 goes to your wife, okay? She's gonna have funeral expenses. Let's just say that's, $10,000 to $15,000. That's $10,000 to $15,000 for the funeral expenses. Okay, on top of that, she's got monthly bills that she's got to pay. She's got car payments. And she's got a mortgage that she's got to cover by herself now that you're gone. See, the purpose of insurance is to help you, it's to help the beneficiary in case of a loss of income. The person who's got the policy, like me, I have $500,000 policy. That's not for me. That's for my wife. If something were to happen to me, she's going to get that policy, or she's going to get this money along with my daughter. So you have to remember that the insurance that you have is not for you. It's for your beneficiaries. So $10,000 goes to the funeral expenses. You got bills, car payments, mortgage. Maybe you have a child. You have all these things. And soon that $50,000 is gone. Is $50,000 enough money to help your wife and your kids to live the lifestyle that they were living while you were alive? Probably not. And I'm being honest here, and I think it's important to acknowledge that because $50,000 is not a lot of money. Let's just say that the mortgage payment was $2,000 a month. That $50,000 is going to be gone very soon. Now, let's look at it from the other perspective, the personal policy, the one that I think is very important to have. You have $500,000. Okay, let's just say you pass away, an untimely death. You got funeral expenses, $10,000 to $15,000 right here. 10 to 15. Okay, we got funeral expenses, we got bills. So my wife would have to pay bills, your wife would have to pay bills. You got car payments. You have a mortgage. So if you think about this, if you were to put this into perspective here, and let's just say you did all these numbers, how much money would you have left over? A lot of money. You would have a lot of money after funeral expenses and bills, car payments, whatever it is that you're paying for. Your wife would be left with enough money to invest into her retirement, invest into properties, and invest into so much that would help her add more income. So that's what the difference is between the personal and the employer policy. Think about the significance of this policy right here, the personal policy, and how much money you would leave your family if you died unexpectedly. That is so important to think about, because I was talking to one of my friends and I was like, hey man, so I was wondering if you wanted to talk about insurance and see if this is something that might work for you. And so he told me, he's like, I don't really need it because my employer gives me insurance and I get about $25,000. And he just got married recently. And I'm thinking to myself, $25,000. Is that really a lot of money? Like we just discussed, the funeral expenses, okay? Let's just say you got bills, you got a car payment, you got rent. Think about all those things that go into play when something happens. So now that you see the difference in the comparison, I think it's very important to have a personal policy on top of the policy you have with your employer. And when you realize how important that is, you're going to jump on this as soon as possible, because you're going to leave your family with money where they don't have to go to work the next week if you were to die. Who wants to go to work after you pass away? After somebody in the family passes away, who wants to go to work the next week? Nobody. You're not going to have any motivation to go to work. You're not going to have the motivation to do anything. You're going to have you're going to leave your family with a lot of money that will help them cover the bills and take care of their responsibilities and take some time to grieve. So I hope this made sense to you, and I hope you understand the importance of a personal policy and how you can have $500,000 or a little bit less for this price. And it varies due to age and your health. So I hope this made sense to you. I hope you see the importance of having a personal policy, and that you should get it immediately for you and your family in case something were to happen to you. So if this did make sense to you, let me know down in the comments what you guys are thinking. And until next time, I will see you in the next video.